a hands-on look at the iOS 14.3 beta, including a look at the brand new Apple ProRAW capture format for the iPhone 12 Pro. But of course, that's not all. It turns out there are lots of new changes and features in iOS 14.3. Check out the full video right now. How's it going, ladies and gents, boys and girls? Jeff Benjamin with 9to5Mac. I'm running iOS 14.3 beta, so let's talk about it. So one of the things you'll notice are the new Apple Music playlist headers. For select playlists, you get animated artwork and full bleed headers. So here's one for global hits. You also have one for today's chill. So you can see the full header at the top. You see the animation, and it really spices up the playlist in my opinion. What do you guys think? Let me know down below. There's also a full bleed header with the animated artwork for Always Sunday. And that looks really cool. It's just a nice contrast between the playlist below and the header on top. Really kind of gets you into the mood as to what you can expect. And when you save that playlist to your local library, you're going to see not a full bleed header, but you still will see the animated artwork. So hopefully in future versions of the 14.3 beta, we'll see that full artwork at the top along with that animation. Now, Apple Music fans who watch a lot of music videos will be happy to know that the Music app now uses, as you can see, the system-wide video player instead of its own little custom player like it did before. So as you can see here on the left, sorry, it's kind of cut off, but you can see the custom player on the left. You can see it even better here when you tap it and go into full screen. It automatically goes into landscape mode here. But you can see now in iOS 14.3, it uses the standard system-wide header in all Apple Music video. That's a great change. Now there are lots of Apple News changes, particularly applying to Apple News Plus audio. One thing you'll see though is if you're a subscriber to Apple News Plus, you're going to see that subscribe badge in the upper right-hand corner. And for Apple News Plus audio, you'll now see a read story link alongside each audio article that allows you to quickly just pull up a text version of that article and either read along with the playback or just read it outright if you want to and you don't want to hear it. So that's really cool, just a much cleaner way to get to the actual text article if you want to read it. And you'll also notice that text for each audio article is smaller so as to not truncate the full title of that article. So let me just show you a side-by-side comparison. You can see that top article, how it truncates the title of that article so you can't actually read it. So that's fixed on 14.3. Now there's also a new Apple News Plus audio channel. So just tap the link at the bottom and there you go. Here is that channel. You can break it down by individual topic. You can also add that channel if you want to by tapping the little plus sign in the upper right-hand corner, just like that. So just like you follow any other channel in Apple News, now you can follow Apple News Plus audio as well. So that's really cool. Now here's the really big feature for iPhone 12 Pro owners. If you go to settings and you go down to camera and you go to formats, you're going to see something major here, and that is Apple ProRAW. So this is a 12-bit file that uses linear DNG format to retain more information in dynamic range. So at a high level, it gives you a flatter file that you can go into like Photoshop or Affinity Photo and go in and edit things like exposure and white balance and really take control over the look of the image. And the really cool thing about this is that you can retain higher quality because there's less processing applied to the photo out of the camera. So for instance, there's less sharpening applied. And you can see this here in some of our side-by-side examples that I'm going to show you in a minute. But I've enabled Apple ProRAW. So I'm going to go to the camera app and now you will see a RAW button or RAW toggle in the upper right hand corner, and you can turn that on. That will disable live photos, and when I take that photo and then I venture over to the Photos app, you'll see the tag in the upper left hand corner denoting that this is a RAW capture. So under your Albums tab in the Photos app, you're going to see a RAW media type appear. Just like that. So now all of the raw photos that you take with the camera app on your iPhone 12 Pro will be placed within this media type. So these raw photos use Apple's multi-frame image processing, and it also applies the computational benefits of the iPhone's camera with the versatility of RAW, allowing you to change things like exposure, white balance, color in post. Now I'd like to think that Apple will add even more tools in its native photo editor in the Photos app. It's already impressive as is, but with these cameras now being able to do all sorts of things, including shooting RAW, hopefully there'll be even more tools that Apple applies, like waveforms, for instance. But in the meantime, I went ahead and imported the ProRAW file into Affinity Photo, and it imported perfectly fine. And you can see Affinity Photo recognizes that it is a RAW file. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in 400% on this photo, just like that. Now, of course, this is a very flat file. I haven't developed it yet, but notice how clean it is already. Right there on the table, you see not a lot of noise, not a lot of over sharpening. Now here's that same composition, but in a high efficiency file. So I'll zoom in 400% here, and immediately you can tell there's a lot of noise there, and there's also a lot of sharpening applied and baked into this photo. So there's really no way you could go in and change that. Whereas with the RAW file, you get so much more flexibility to really change things around and make this photo look how you want it. Right? Like I said, it's flat now, but once you develop it, it's going to look way, way better. So there's no question to me, if you are trying to shoot a high quality photo, maybe something you want to frame or print, then Apple ProRAW is definitely the way you would want to go in the future. Obviously, it's still being worked on, but it is very promising, just what we've seen already. Now let's talk about a few other changes. The TV app gets a lot of little changes, little tweaks. For instance, you'll see different spacing between some of the various sections around the TV app. So that's not a huge deal, but you do notice that if you compare side by side. Now, one thing that you definitely will notice is when you go to search, you see the redesigned search interface, which kind of follows the pattern set by the Apple Music app, where you get these categories in the search. And you can tap on one of those categories, and that will quickly allow you to find content that you're looking for. Or of course, you can go in and type in a search as well. So we're going to do that right now. And let me show you something else that's kind of cool, that's new. So when I actually submit this search, like the music app, you can actually drill down even further, just like that. So like I said, another cool addition to the TV app. Now, another thing you'll notice are the updated glyph icons for things like Watch Now, which imitates the Listen Now that you find in the music app. You'll also notice different tint color on the buttons, and all throughout the interface, you'll notice some slight tint differences there. So I'll find one example. For instance, the Play First Episode button that you find here is blue in previous versions of iOS, but in 14.3 beta, it is white. In Shortcuts, fans will be happy to know that the set wallpaper action is now back, which allows you to do some really cool things to automatically change your wallpaper. So you can imitate some of the dynamic wallpaper functions that you find on the Mac, and that's really cool. Now, for our friends over in Europe or in Africa or other countries where they use the PAL video format, you're going to be happy to know the PAL format support is now within the camera settings. So if I go to Camera, select Record Video, now you see Show PAL format. So you're going to get 25 frames per second, which is what they use over in Europe and other countries, instead of 24 frames per second. So you can see you enable that, you see 1080p HD 25 frames per second, 4K 25 frames per second. So if you're in the US, obviously you would stick to 24 frames per second if you're going for a more cinematic look. But for viewers in other countries, you're going to be happy to know that you have 25 frames per second option. And in the home app settings, you're going to see a new software update glyph, which is cool in and of itself. But when you go into the software update section, you're going to see that now automatic updates can be applied to a specific device like the HomePod. So HomePods, you can set those to automatically update, and we would assume that third-party applications are going to be able to facilitate updates right here from within the Home app instead of having to go out and use some third-party application, which is a definite welcome change. Hopefully that comes to fruition. So if we go to Settings, Privacy, Analytics, and Improvements, you're going to see a new Improve Fitness Plus toggle, which isn't yet active. In fact, you still see some lorem ipsum placeholder text there, but this just shows that Fitness Plus, Apple's new fitness service, should be launching in the not too distant future. And Apple Arcade subscribers will be happy to know that in 14.3 you have more filtering options. So of course you can sort by release date, but now you can go up and filter on release date, last updated, the name, the category. You can even filter by app ratings. You can filter by controller support, multiplayer support. You can include coming soon titles, Considering there are so many Apple Arcade titles, this is a great way to really drill down and find the exact title you're looking for. So ladies and gentlemen, that has been a hands-on look at iOS 14.3 beta. What do you think? What's your favorite new feature? Let me know down below in the comments section with your thoughts and opinions. And be sure to thumbs up if you appreciate videos like this. This is Jeff with 9to5Mac.